Hi everyone. I'm just doing like a, quick live video because I wanted to talk to you about Matthew Perry's numbers. I wanted to do his chart for you guys. And I was gonna record it and then post it later, but I figured I might as well just do a live. It's easier. And I don't chicken out as easy on lives. For some reason, lives don't scare me as much as making a video and then posting it. I don't know why. You would think it would be a lot scarier, but it's weird how, like, when you can't take it back, whatever you say, it just kind of, I don't know, it feels less scary. I don't know why. Anyway, hi Heather. I'm glad that you're here. So I'm going to do Matthew Perry's numbers because, because he passed away and it's really sad. And I have this entire sheet of numbers. Like, this is a whole page, and I even have one on the back. It's a whole page of celebrities with drug and alcohol problems, because a couple years ago, or I don't even know when, but in the last few years, I was doing research on how to see a drug problem in someone's numbers. Like, I didn't know what that would feel like or how that would show up as. So I was just kind of doing research. And so I was writing down all the celebrities with drug problems that I could find. And so he was one of them. And I'll tell you first what I noticed, okay? Like, hi Joey, nice to see you. I'm glad you're here. One of the things that I noticed in a lot of these is that they have a pattern of being the conqueror of the dragon. Another pattern I noticed is that a lot of them have this like extreme need to make the world a better place. I don't know. I like to look at patterns. I like to see like why people do things and what makes them, like what drives them to do things. And so when it comes to Matthew Perry, it's funny because, like, out of all the people on this page, he really has the best numbers, quite honestly. Like, even though, he had a really hard life, it's like he really had a lot going for him. And obviously you know that because he was a celebrity, but he really did, honestly. Hi, Joe. I love seeing you here. I'm so sorry that I missed you when you were in Austin. I wish I could have met you downtown or something. If you're ever in Austin again, you better write me because I want to hang out. Anyway, okay, so Matthew Perry's birthday was 8/1969. He was a visionary. I think that's pretty obvious from his work that he was a visionary. He was somebody who came here with a really big purpose, and he's somebody that could bring his vision to life. He was a doer, not a sayer. Somebody who is like, he was very psychic, and he had a lot going on that way. He also, well, there's a bunch of things going on. So like he was a stubborn person, but like he also was very directional and very motivated and very like forward focused. And so like whatever he could imagine in his head, he was someone that could bring that to life. And then he also has a 6, which says that he's an artist or a healer. He's clearly an artist, He has this extreme desire to make the world a better place for him having been here. I think he accomplished that, obviously. He definitely added joy to all of our lives. Now, when it comes to like his real struggles, okay, he is the conqueror of the dragon. And he's that in kind of like a background way. So like, one of the things that I learned when I first learned numerology is that the conqueror of the dragon is someone that can have drug problems. I never really understood exactly how that worked because that's not always how it shows up. But I do see it in a lot of people's numbers that do have drug problems. And so sometimes when the conqueror of the dragon shows up, it's that they're the conqueror of their own dragon. Like they're people who have drug or alcohol problems and they have to fix them themselves, but they do get through it. He's also someone that has this combination that I was talking about the other night where you would never worry about him because he's someone who is very resourceful, and he's someone who is very well, he's someone who's very well put together, someone who can handle his own stuff, and he doesn't get in his own way, except he is a self-sabotager. So I guess that's not true. It's like he was somebody who he had really big emotions, but was able to like mask his emotions. Like somebody with a combination like he has, there are people who, no matter what's going on at home, they can make it appear like nothing's going on in their world, and they can be happy, and no one can know that they're really struggling, So he's somebody who had an extreme struggle, but like kept it hidden, like was really good at masking that, and so I want to talk about this 8 because Josh, oh hi Josh, you're here. Oh good. So Josh made a good point that a lot of celebrities that struggle with drug and alcohol problems have 8s, and an 8 is a really hard number, and I don't talk about it a lot because I don't like to focus on it. If you have an 8 in your birthday, it means that you have a harder life than most people. And it means that you're a very old soul. It means you've been here many times. It means that you see the injustice in the world and you notice it, like you notice it more than a lot of other people. And so the way that Matthew Perry has this 8, it's exactly the same 8 that I have, where I say that he's walking this 8. And what that means is that it's a goal number for his life to overcome, like achieve more, like overcome the 8 basically. But it means that he's going to have more obstacles than most people, so the fact that that hard life was so much pressure on him and he ended up turning to drugs. I don't know his story. I didn't actually read his book or know that much about him personally. But the fact that he did turn to drugs at some point, that's not actually surprising because he had a very hard battle that he was facing all the time. And so even though he was, like he got into drugs and things like that, he's somebody that you still wouldn't worry about because you would always know that he's going to be okay. So like he wasn't going to be someone that, kind of like threw his whole life away over it. Like of course it interrupted his life and it messed with his life and it probably made his life a lot harder. It's definitely a self-sabotaging behavior, but it's like it wouldn't stop him because he had such a clear focus. Now, something that I found really interesting about his numbers is that he was on an optional last life. So like he wasn't on his last life. He was on a life where if he did all the things that he wanted to do, like he made all these, so like in his plan, he decided to do bigger things than you would normally do in a regular life. And I think that's obvious from his life. But he put an option in his life where if he didn't complete the things as he intended, that he would come back and he would do it again, so that's something that him and his higher self are going to, address now, where he's going to decide if he wants to come back and try again and go at it a different angle, or if he accomplished all the things that he set out to do. And I would say, honestly, I think he accomplished the things that he set out to do. Like his really big focus was making the world a better place for him having been here. I think he clearly did that, and then he was a visionary and, like his entire, everything in his brain, like he was someone who had a whole world going on inside of his head, and he was someone who could bring that to life. And I think that he really did do that. I think that he did make his dreams come true and he did achieve the things he thought. I don't know that when he got to those places, they ended up being what he thought they would be, and maybe that was where the depression came in, because he definitely had some depression. You can see it in his numbers. He was also someone who was here for the Aquarian age. So he was an Aquarian age child, which you'll hear me talk about sometimes. he actually has like the highest number you can have for that. He was a very high soul, a very high functioning soul. Hi, Kelly. I'm glad that you're here. So let me just read that to you, because that is a really rare number that I almost never see. So like the fact that it came up in his numbers is a really big deal. So it says, you are a very high soul. You are here to see and experience the golden age. You are also here for very high levels of learning in this lifetime. So like what that says about him is that he was somebody who, you know, he was going to achieve, you know, bigger things than most people. And he was here with already having a very good awareness and understanding of what human is. So it was almost like he mastered human, and then he came back, not that he mastered it, but like he had a really good understanding, and then he came back into this lifetime with a really clear focus to do bigger things than he had ever done before. And I see that a lot. I see that a lot with people that are on their last lives, or that are on option lives, you know, and that's what he was on. He was on an optional last life, you know. But what I want to say about him is that he's a really beautiful person, like very passionate, very driven, very forward focused, very motivated, very determined, somebody who really, really cared about people, like cared about people more than most people, you know, like he saw the humanity in the world. He did not ignore the injustice and the suffering and things like that. He actually really recognized that, and that probably actually really bothered him throughout his life, because he was someone who felt that, you know. And he was somebody that really had this extreme need to make the world a better place. So like, I think, you know, looking at his numbers now, I mean, I looked at his numbers a couple years ago, but looking at his numbers now that he's not here, I would say this is somebody who lived a really good life. Like, this is somebody who did the things they said they were going to do. And he had that hard 8, not just because he would have this hard life, not just because, I mean, the 8 is also a manifesting number. So he clearly was a master manifester, but I think it got in his way more than it helped him, But the thing is, like, it's like, that's not just what it's about, like, it's not just about the suffering. It's not just about the hardship that it brings you. It's also about the learning and the, like, we're here to embody things so that we learn them, so that our soul has this growth, this incredible growth. And anyone who has an 8, I just want you to know, yes, your life is hard. It's extra hard, but it's also extra beautiful because you value everything in your life. You value people. You don't take things for granted. You don't take people for granted. You work for everything that you have, and life is definitely harder for you, but you are somebody who sees the truth in life. You're not somebody who is oblivious to the real things that matter in life. And I just want to say that anyone that has an 8, they're usually a very beautiful soul, unless they've been very jaded. Like, they can get very jaded at times, and they can get very hateful and spiteful. I do feel that in him a little bit, that he does have this, like, bitterness, where it's like maybe life was too hard for him to handle, at times, definitely at times. But it's like, but overall, he's a beautiful soul who wanted good for other people. So hopefully that all makes sense. And that's not his whole reading, but it's like enough that you can kind of grasp what he was here for and what he was doing with his life. And I liked looking at it because it made me feel really, because obviously when I heard that he passed away, I was very sad. We're all probably sad, but when I looked at his numbers, I was like, but I think he did what he came here to do. And I think that he probably went to the other side thinking he felt complete, like he really accomplished his purposes, and he really touched a lot of lives, and he really made a big difference in the world. And, that was all he was really here for. You know, like he was here for that. So I think it was a beautiful life, honestly. So that's what I'm going to say about it. And I hope, you know, I hope that brings you some kind of comfort, you know, if you're sad like I am, you know. Hi, artists, and hi, Rachel. I'm so glad you guys are here. Anyway, so if you guys have any questions or anything, just, you know, ask anytime and I will totally answer them, you know, later. But that was it. I just wanted to come on and do his numbers and just, you know, tell you guys I'm sad. And I'm sure you guys are sad too. Anyway, have a great night. And it was good seeing everybody. Bye.